Well, I decided to work smart, not as hard. I can't just say not hard. But I was able to carry 2 bags of sand on this hand cart. It was still a little bit to move, but it was easier than doing it, carrying it by hand or running the wheelbarrow. So anyway, I have my Portland in there and the rest area. But anyway, yeah, so today I had the mixture done a lot better. Consistency that I could have it in my hands and be able to mold around the rocks. Now I see there's a couple spots there, darn, that I thought my son was getting, but it seems he missed that little spot right there. It's got to be done. The rest of that, well, that can be done. It can be done on another stage of this, no big deal. But so mower's getting done for sure. Got this side all started and worked in, and put the motor to it. Mosquitoes, because it's cloudy and gray, they're just everywhere today. Yeah, so I was mainly working, let me get my sneakers on here. I was mainly working on building this up here, just to have a good solid base here. I found this big rock. It should have really been what's called a through rock, a rock that would go right through, but where it's not really a dry wall, it's got mortar that's holding it together, and so just the weight of the rocks, I decided that I would put that big rock right there. The brunt of the water is going to be hitting this, so I want good solid, as you can see, a great big rock right there, and I had to build up from behind up into that, and just like I'm kind of doing here, have to start the back and build your way up and then come into it, sort of idea. But it's a learning process, and well, it's definitely a learning process. Getting the motor right is a big thing, and I'm making sure that it's all sealed on the outside and the inside. So that way there it's going to be good and sealed, and then I'll bring this rock here is all just loose. So once that's all set, then I'll bring these other rocks and I'll bring these in and I'll mortar them all in to strengthen this structure, and then it'll just be slowly coming down. I need it to come from behind, but I also need to make sure that it's sealed and going to be stable. So I don't know if I'm explaining that right or not, but it definitely has to be sealed and stable, and then I'm just going to start bringing more rocks up and fill it in more, and put the rocks and fill it in, and then start coming down this way, sort of idea. This was only my second batch. Cody and I were both working on it, and I'm not doing it like other people are, where they just take a whole shovelful and throw it in there, and just throw a couple rocks in, and then another shovelful and throw a couple other rocks in there, and just fill it up with mortar. I'm not going to do that. A lot of the structural strength of this is going to be rock. I've got lots of rock kicking around here. Like, as you can see, there's rock everywhere. So I'm not worried about the rock situation. So I'm going to make sure that this wall is good and stable. And to do that, I'm going to be putting mortar in. I'm going to be placing rocks in there, sealing around them, and continuing on as I go. Now, the front part of that stuff is done, but the back part isn't done. So obviously I'll have to put some rocks in there, and put some mortar, put some rocks, and work my way this way too. But I don't want to make this too long, because I don't like watching long videos. So this is roughly what the wall's looking like. Now, it's not finished. It has to be, I have to wait for this to dry, and then I'll take the paintbrush to it again, and I'll clean it off better, because at the first of it, you're just packing it in at first. So, and then when it starts drying, then you can come out and you can start going with the paint, with the water and the paintbrush, and clean up the rocks and make it look a little better. I'll take another video of that. Now, I use this instead of that. That was quite flimsy. This thing here works really well. So this is much more sturdy, and to hold the mortar, it works great. Geez, you can just see the bugs flying around here. Yeah, this mixer actually is working really well. I've got no complaints about it. It's working real well. Today, as you can see, I greased it all up. I don't know if you can see the grease on it, but I greased it all up, greased it all good, greased the bearing. That's probably a sealed bearing, so probably not even getting in there, but I think it might work its way in there one way or another. But yeah, it's no complaints at all for 150 bucks. Psh, bonus. So anyhow, yeah, sign off. I'll make another video after I have it all cleaned up. After a couple hours, I'll let it start to harden, and then I'll come by and clean up some. Cheers.